welcome to Country Cuz Show, and by golly, let me put my bar down here. Today's Thursday, and it's the day after the Hump Day report, but boy, I tell you, I've been back here playing a little music, but I've been pretty much all day. I had to go to Walmart, and I ordered groceries online yesterday, pick up at between 9 and 10. Got up this morning, we had a torrential flood, rain and cold, a yard out there. I guarantee you right now, right there at our back door where I had to tote the groceries up. We don't have a carport. It was raining when I come in, but it's about a foot deep in water. I had an old pair of boots, and I got some stuff that's called Snow Seal. I doubt y'all know what that is. It's something I used to sell when I run a gun shop many years ago. But anyway, I've soaked my boots down, but I had to wade water this morning. But I want to give a shout out to Walmart here in Citadel. Y'all done a great job. But when I got down there to get my groceries, they had me pull up by right there, right up next to the building, and it was still raining, but they pulled my groceries out the side door and piled them into my truck. I have a truck that's got a door and a half, so it opens like that. They stuck everything in there, and boom, I come on home. So with that being said, anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is something completely different. If you're not into the stock market or any money and financial stuff, this video ain't for you. And I don't normally do these kind of videos on this channel, but by God, I just had to say it today. I've been enjoying myself so much. I come back home and I pulled off my muddy boots and just hung out in the house with my socks on. I got my boots on now because I had to go over to my mother's house that's next door to me and feed her cats. I do that every evening, rain, shine, or snow, whatever. But anyway, I've been listening to Meet Kevin. If y'all ain't never seen the Meet Kevin show, he's a young gentleman that is a financial genius in my thought. And I would love to sit down and talk to him and tell him. I used to do the stock market back in the day where we'd have to go to the telephone and you'd pick up, you'd call your broker, and I'm in South Georgia, and my broker was way up there in Atlanta, Georgia, because there wasn't no brokers down here in South Georgia, and the people down here they call brokers, they were just broke folks. They didn't have no money. They was broker. Yep, they was broker than me, but I was pretty broke myself back then. But anyway, it was funny. We call up and they'd answer the phone, and they'd say, this is, and I use a company that ain't no longer in business called Scottrade. Y'all might have heard of them. And they'd say, Scottrade, your ID number, and I'd call out my Scottrade trading ID number, and they'd go through a list, and they'd say, well, go ahead there, Country Cuz, what you need today? And they charged me, I believe it was about $12, and finally come down to $7, and then finally TD Ameritrade, which I'm with them, but they bought them out. But I never will forget, it come down to $7 per trade. You could either buy or sell a stock for $7. I never will forget, I thought that was a bargain, and now it's free, and people complain about it. But anyway, Meet Kevin was, basically his whole show today was centered around the stock market, and the Congress is having a hearing talking to the Robinhood and Citadel and Melvin Capital and all them that was involved, and the guy they called Kitty or Cat, whatever it was, that was on Reddit. He, whenever GameStop, and I was lucky. I don't know why, but about 2 or 3 weeks before all that junk happened, well, actually my stepson, he mentioned it. He said, boy, they rattling the chains on Reddit, and I didn't even know what Reddit was. He said, well, they rattling the chains on Reddit about GameStop. So I looked at it, and it was, I believe, $21. And I said, well, it ain't too expensive. And I looked at it and found out they sell video games and all this, which, I'm thinking, well, that can't be much of a market, because you have to go there and buy a game when you can just rent the darn things online. because everything's online now, you know, like my grocery shopping today, it was online. But anyway, I said, well, what the heck, I'll buy 4 or 5 shares, and I did, and I forgot about it, and then I was watching Meet Kevin, you know, back. I've been watching him going on a couple of months now. Real interested, super nice guy, and I don't believe he's steering nobody wrong. I don't believe he's bull jiving us. You know, he seems to be a real straight shooter. He's a real estate investor. I used to be a real estate investor. I owned a bunch of houses right here at one time, but I retired and sold all of them, and still piddle with the stock market though. In fact, I'm in it heavier now because that's easier to do, and then still building these lap steel guitars. That's what we love, that and playing them. But anyway, boy, it was interesting today. I was watching Meet Kevin. Hey Kevin, and they was all these congressmen interviewing different people, and Robinhood CEO today, and he actually done an interview with Kevin. And I think Melvin Capital might have done an interview. A lot of people, a lot of the big companies have. I don't know if he got Elon Musk on there yet or not, but Elon Musk, if you listen to Country Cuz and you want to get on a show that you'll be remembered for, go ahead and go to Meet Kevin. And then you want to talk to him about your Bitcoin and your Tesla cars. Yeah, he's big into both of them. And I like the stocks on both of them too. They're great stock. The stock market went way down today, went down yesterday, and I predict it's going to go down tomorrow. And there's 3 reasons driving this, and the number 1 reason I think is because of all the ice storms, and you think about all them thousands and thousands of people in Texas that ain't got power that normally would get in there and trade stocks. Well, they're not able to. Right now, they just hunting a place to get warm. They ain't studying the stock market. Think about it. Anyway, but here's what really got me right there at the end today. It kind of made me mad, but I don't like to get mad. I'd rather get glad, so I'm going to laugh about it. That's what I'm going to do. But there was one congressman, and he was from Maine, I believe, Maine or Massachusetts, and I didn't get to see whether he was a Democrat or a Republican. It don't matter. He was not a very bright congressman in my book, but he was hinting around, and he was trying to interview Robinhood CEO and the Melvin Capital, and he kept on saying, don't you think this was like playing casino gambling? It's just legalized gambling, and we need to regulate it. And the first thing that popped in my head, and Kevin, I hope you listen, because I want it to pop in yours and think about it. If that's true, does that mean that they just mad because he ain't got control over the people's money? Because think about this, if they worried about legalized gambling, what about the lottery? I see old women every first of the month that gets a welfare check and a food stamps and whatever. I have to go to the country store right out here, and I have to stand in line behind them. Finally, they got smart, and I kept telling the manager of the store to do it. Finally, they did it. They put in a separate line for the lottery, because it just backs up when these old people, and it's mostly the old black ladies, they get their checks, and all their young kids are with them. They all excited they gonna get rich. Well, you know what? That's a state-run and state-funded lottery, and what they doing, that's just the way getting their daggum money out of these people's hands and put it right back in their pocket. Now, that right there needs to be looked into, if you ask me, more than the stock market, because the stock market is, when I invested, let me tell you, going back to my day, I invested in a lot of companies. I bought into Home Depot when it was a startup company, and luckily I had to deliver to the first store up there around Atlanta, and they had a big party. They had free hot dogs, and the first 100 people that come in the store got a $20 bill. I remember that. I didn't go in, but because they was lined up for miles. But I did go up there, and they had a line of grills cooking hot dogs and hamburgers all the way across the parking lot. I mean, just round it. I did get a free meal out of the deal, but I was delivering to the back. We had to haul a load of lumber up there or something that day, and I got to meet the actual CEO, Mr. Frank. And later on in life, you know, I actually went to work for Home Depot in Cordell, worked here about 5 or 6 years, and still a great company. I sold stock. Actually, boy, I wish I hadn't sold it because it's $200-something a day. I got it on my watch list. But anyway, the storm in Texas is creating all this problems and storms up north and all that. But, you know, I don't think that yes, we need a regulating of the stock market. And I tell you though, let me start over or go back. I keep getting off the subject. What I was gonna say, I bought stock in Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Home Depot, and Johnson & Johnson, but I never even knew there was such thing as shorting a stock. I bought stock in these companies, and because I believed that the product was a good product and that people would buy and they would make more money and their stock prices would go up. And I've seen my Coca-Cola stock go up and split and go up and split. And I bought stock in a bank. I helped a startup. It was a private investment of a bank right up here in Warner Robins, Georgia, a little town up far, not too far. I'm in Roberta, and they was a man that owned a Ford place here, got me involved. He said, you know what? He said, we can make some money if we got to raise $1 million. And I thought to myself, now how in the world are we going to raise $1 million? He said, well, I got these, we having a meeting tonight. And he said, bring your checkbook. And there was a bunch of the businessmen in town showed up. And we all wrote a $2,000 check, I remember that, and handed a man on speculation that this bank, because you can't get a FDIC approval unless you got a little bit over $1 million. They won't even talk to you. So anyway, we raised $1 million in one night. And then there was some of the people that put in 5, 10, and 15,000. It wasn't just limited. 2,000 was the minimum. I got in for the minimum. But I held that stock for many years, and I sold it, and it quadrupled in price. But boy, I wish I hadn't sold it too, cause there ain't no telling what it's worth now, because since then they've done opened up 4 more branches of banks in the state of Georgia. But anyway, that was my take today. And I was sitting back here playing the lap steel, and I got to thinking about what all I've been doing today. And I've been watching Meet Kevin and Congress and Robinhood and Citadel and Melvin Capital. And Congress was fussing at them, and some of them was congratulating them. But we do need to regulate one thing, I think, and maybe at least let's make it clear. And I don't care who it is shorting the stock market, but I think they ought to post shorts on it. Don't worry about the options and trading and pulls and puts and all that, but the short sellers, they intentionally wanting the price to go down. Well, what do you think that's saying for your company that you invested in, like GameStop? It was shorted out bad, like 45–50% short. It may even been more. But they was betting against the company and hoping it'd go down and fail. And I don't want to buy stock, and Kevin don't either, because I can tell the way he talks. He buys Tesla, hoping Tesla's going up and do it. I don't know that he even short sells. He buys options and puts. That's a different ball game. We ain't even going to get into that. But, you know, I just had to get this off my chest today, and if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link right below mine in the description, and it's going to be Meet Kevin. And he's on YouTube. Y'all go out there and check the old boy out. I promise you, I have a lot of fun with him today. And he made some comments, and he's even got private investment groups and stuff like that. But he started out in the real estate business, and that's where I got my start and all. But anyway, I'm gonna not ramble on no more. But just remember, if they saying that the stock market is legalized casinos, just ask your Congress people, your representatives, well, what is the state-run lottery? No different. Well, it is different. Buying a lottery ticket is more of a greedy thing, hoping that you're going to win that money. Buying stock in a company is hoping that that company prospers and all the employees that work at it. Let's say I've got a bunch of Home Depot stock. Do I want Home Depot to go bad or have bad luck? No, I don't. I want them to have the best luck in the whole dang world. When you buy a part of stock, you're a part owner of a company, and you should be buying it with good intentions that, hey, let's back our company and let's hope and pray that it does well. Anyway, that was all I had to say today, and we're going to leave y'all with that, and I want to thank you for stopping by, so y'all take care.